Hello everybody, I'm Ching from Mighty Jaxx, and today we'll be speaking with the up-and-coming artist Danil YAD, the man behind shoe designer, game designer, and fashion designer from his project Authors. So we'll be giving away a fashion designer at the end of the interview, so be sure to tune in and keep watching to the end to find out how you can take him home. Right, we want to start off the interview by thanking you, Danil, for agreeing to do this with us, and we're absolutely delighted to speak with you. So, talk to us about your background as an artist and as a digital sculptor.
Thank you for calling me. It will be a great honor for me to tell you about my work. So art has been of interest to me all my life since childhood. My father is a big fan of Impressionism and art in general. He broke up in me this love and interest. I studied for a long time, and now I continue to do this. But before, it was needed for diplomas and grades, and now there's a genuine interest in development further. Digital sculpture has appeared very abruptly in my life. And now I can't believe it, but I use it to take it with hostility. I did not take it seriously, but this is just a tool with which I can very quickly give a visual embodiment of my idea.
So, when did you first start sculpting digitally? Do you remember what's the first object you sculpted?
This is all thanks to my brother Nicanor. Then there was an emphasis on jewelry, and so I started trying to create a ring by the tutorial. This, of course, was very long and unclear. For a long time, it was viewed as a duce, from which there is no escape. But the more I learned about the tool, the more I become interested in trying to and experimenting with forms.
So, what is your creative process when it comes to kicking off a brand new project or a brand new sculpt?
It is always different. Sometimes it happens like a click. I see in a certain image in my head, and I can't get rid of it until I try to draw a sketch or assembly it from simple 3D geometry. It happens that I just write down notes on my iPhone. I leave sometimes for a while and later come back. Sometimes this takes on a completely different look and meaning than at the very beginning.
So some of your sculpts are done in a realism style, some are more comical, and some are really abstract. So how do you decide which visual style to go for?
Each of my work is a kind of test for me. I set a challenge for myself, which I have not performed before. Sometimes it is a challenge to try new shapes, and sometimes just to experimental with materials. All my works are stage for a new project in which I try to invest my skills as much as possible.
That's a good mentality to have, to always challenge yourself, to push yourself to be better than before. So we've seen some plasticine molds that you have posted on social media. Talk about the difficulties between plasticine molding and 3D sculpting.
The basic principles of traditional sculpture and digital sculpture remain the same for me. It all starts with a large form, which is divided into medium forms. Further details are added to emphasize certain places. The main difference in techniques is the ability to edit. In digital sculpture, I have the opportunity to return the first stage and continue to edit it.
So the ability to return to the first stage to make edits is definitely an advantage that digital sculpting gives you. So talk to us about how you've evolved and developed your signature style that you've adopted for project authors. How have all these artists impacted your style?
The artists and creators that I take as the basic of the author's project, it seems to me these are people who are very passionate about their work. It is since I understand them well. When a project, an idea lights a fire in your soul, a fire that keeps you awake and meditative, only the process of work itself can put out this fire. It sounds very pathetic, but I don't know how to describe it differently. As for the visual style for our project, I'm just trying simple but interesting shapes to describe the creator. I try to leave him as recognizable as possible, but at the same time the object in his hands adds a lot to his recognition.
Well, I guess it's the process of creating all these projects that makes you really grow as an artist, right? So about project authors, how did project authors first came about?
As I said, the project is dedicated to creators from various industries. At first, I thought just to make a faceless figure of a man with a box of sneakers in his hands. This post was prompted by Nicanor, but then I began to think further. I thought about the fact that people do a lot for example, actors or singers, and very rarely you will find fan art dedicated to designers or artists. I discussed this idea with my brothers. I always consult with them on all ideas, and they appreciated this project. We all had a share of skepticism. For example, everyone knows the alien from the movie of the same name, but how many people know in the face of Giga, the creator of the character? But as time has shown, it's just right.
Seems like you're really close with your brothers, huh? Also, similar to this concept, the interview is to feature the author of Project Authors, which is you, Daniel, right? So, were there any difficulties you face when you're creating this project?
For each author, I might face it with getting a similar portrait, but at the same time remain within the framework or the style with which I work. Each time it turns into a long search. I would 3D model in different materials, different programs, compare it with real photos of people. This is perhaps the most difficult part of the process, which cannot be brought to automatism. Each also is complex in his own way.
Okay. So how do you feel to see your work translate into vinyl toys?
I still can't believe it. I learned about Mighty Jaxx 7 or 8 years ago. Then I could never imagine to make a collaboration. I could not even imagine such a thing. And now we are working together. This is amazing for me. And of course, this is a great honor for me that my work has acquired the look that I had in mind.
It is our utmost pleasure to work with you as well. So, how do you feel when you saw such great reception from your fans to your original work?
Now I look back and just can't believe that less than 1,000 people followed me a year ago. Sometimes it's just hard to believe. This is an adaptation or really strong motivation to continue working, because it is interesting not only to me.
That's really good, man. The Mighty Jaxx team members, we are all huge fans of your work as well. So we are in the third release of Project Authors already. With each release centered around a key aspect of popular culture. So let's start with the first one. Shoe designer. Have you always been a sneakerhead? You can talk about your favorite sneakers you have in your collection.
I was not always sneakerhead. This interest came to me thanks to my brothers. Then we launched the project What's the Shape? Candles in the form of sneakers. And the more I sculpted the sneakers and learned their stories, the most interesting it became. Now my collection is not big. Perhaps the most stylish pair I have is a AJ1. This one.
Nice, that's AJ1 Shadow. That's a really good pair of shoes there. AJ1 is definitely a classic that never goes wrong. Okay, so anyway, let's take a look at the designer, the sample. Here is accessories as long as well. So this is the artwork that you have created. And then here is the shoes. So this is the first sample. There will be updates coming. Okay, so the second one is a game designer. Has video games always been a part of your childhood growing up? Or you can talk about your favorite video games, in the recent years.
Honestly, my first computer appeared only when I was 14, and then I still did not spend much time on games. I've gotten a lot of interest just recently. I really like how storytelling is combined with gameplay. At let's take, for example, the God of War in 2018. What an interesting rethinking of the series did Sony. Now I also cannot devote time to games. I watch more Let's Plays on YouTube and follow the history.
Got to spend the time working. Me too, man. So the third release, which is the upcoming one, is fashion designer. How has streetwear and fashion designers inspired you?
Probably the most important thing for me is a story. The story of how the fashion industry began to merge with streetwear and sports brand. This is a story that must be captured. Nobody could have imagined such a thing before, but now it is our reality.
Yes, definitely, man. Streetwear has come a long way. So we can see that Project Authors is still an ongoing project, with a lot more amazing sculpts are coming. Which sculpt are you most excited about to see translate into an art toy collectible?
I really like to think about what will happen next. I think my best work is one that has not yet been done.
We as fans, we're excited to see your future works as well. So we've recently seen you post a picture with Quicks. How did that collaboration came about?
This all thanks to Dave Davis, and many thanks to him for that. He shared my work with Quicks, and they liked my sculpt. For me, this was another incredible event. I'm sure that this will not be limited to two figures, and there will be many more interesting things.
Okay. What are some other projects and sculpts that you wish to create in the future?
I can't name anything concrete.
Okay.
Now I decided to summarize some old projects. More recently, I began to draw more. This is still the most effective way to work. Start with 2D sketches before translating it into 3D. I would like to continue to look for interesting images and forms. I want to show in my work some very important thoughts, but for now I'm just looking for it.
That's really dope, man. I think that's a very important mentality that artists should have, to let their artwork speak. And also, any advice you have for aspiring artists?
Pump up your skill. Tool knowledge is just one of the skills. Feeling of style and beauty is also a skill. Is more to watch what others are doing, not to become insulated, to share your work with people in order to receive feedback from them. Be patient. I'm sure good projects are not born quickly. It's perhaps the main thing that I did not understand before.
Okay, that's right. Good projects are never ever born quickly. Very well said, man. Do you have anything to say to the fans?
I want to say thank you all very much. Your support gives me a lot of motivation to work. Thank you for your kind word and support. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
So Daniel, we are ending our interview with a giveaway contest for one of your lucky fans to win the upcoming fashion designer. So to our viewers, please tell Daniel who you wish to see added to the roster of project authors. We'll pick our favorite answer, and the winners will be announced in the comment section within the next week. So make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube channel. Right. Thank you, Daniel, for doing this interview with us. Really enjoyed speaking to you, and we can really see that you are truly passionate about your work. So to our viewers, do give Daniel a follow on Instagram at Danil_YAD, and see you guys soon.
Okay, bye-bye.